It's one of the chief fairs that made the name of contemporary art. There's still just as much of a buzz about it as there ever was.
There's an incredible energy in London at the moment.
London in Britain has been the centre of artistic activity for 10, 15, 20 years now.
The art world is punctuated by just a couple of key moments in the year, and London is very fortunate to have one of those moments each October.
The frieze personality is just all about the fall. You know, with Miami, you're escaping reality, going to the beach. London is so beautiful in October. The leaves are orange, there's still some sunshine. So it's just amazing to experience the whole city, and the fair really ignites this week and makes it all happen.
The galleries, the museums, the private collections all put on, an incredible event. The best shows of the year are happening at this time, so it's a great way to come in, and see a lot.
Welcome to London. I've come here specially for the Frieze Art Fair, which is one of the highlights of the global social circuit. It's held in a little-known neighbourhood in the heart of central London, which is one of my favourite places, Fitzrovia, because this is where I grew up.
Fitzrovia is wonderful because it's got the contrast of old and new. It's becoming trendy. There's a lot of artists have moved into it, a lot of actors here, but there's still sort of traditional shops that you get.
The context itself is kind of outstanding as well. You are in London, but you don't think you're in London. It's in a park. It's very human scale.
Fitzroy Square is the green space at the heart of Fitzrovia. And from the outset, this neighbourhood was really aimed at the well-to-do. In fact, the park was built entirely as a marketing tool to lure the wealthy to live in the grand mansions that were built around its edges. Today, the tenants are just as Tony, albeit a little different. There's a whole load of embassies, and word is Madonna, who bought one of the houses just over there as her London Kabbalah HQ. But the name of the neighbourhood, Fitzrovia, is not actually in honour of this grand square. The reason behind that belongs to another local landmark, a very different one, just around the corner. So what's the neighbourhood named after? Since we're in England, you won't be surprised to learn. It's named after the local pub. In the 1920s, when this area was being colonised by artists and writers like George Orwell, Nina Hamnet and Augustus John, they spent a lot of their time in the local pub, drinking and probably doing a bit of creative thinking. So they gave a name to the neighbourhood that honoured their favourite place. Fitzrovia is the Fitzroy Tavern place.
You're here in the middle, if you like, of a central part of London, an aesthetic part of London, the Bloomsbury set, if you like. What people have done is brought culture and arts to Regent's Park. For some reason, tourists don't venture north of Oxford Street, and they really should, because it's the undiscovered gem, and here is where you should be.